Okay, so before we go on to our next lesson, I want to go through the entire process of how you download, install, and run CodeBlocks, and then use it in order to write and run your first program. So everything from the very beginning. So here's what you do. First of all, we go to codeblocks.org and we click on the downloads link. That takes us here. We click on download the binary release. And now in this case, this is a Windows computer, so I'm going to choose this file, the one that includes MingW. Not this one, but the one right under it. And over here I have two options. I have Early OS or I have SourceForge.net. It doesn't matter which one. I'll just click on SourceForge. At this point, it will tell me that my download will begin in a few seconds. And the download will start, and it says I have 1 minute left. Okay, so here we are. Now it's just finished. I click on the file, and now it will start the installation. Alright, so first of all, I click Next. I click I agree. It asks me the type of installation. Just go ahead and choose full. All plugins, all tools, just everything. Now, if you've already installed it and you had the default options set standard or whatever it was set to, that's fine. You'll be just fine. So don't worry if you didn't install it with all plugins, all tools, everything, because the truth is by the time we get to the part in the course where you'll need that, I'll have explained everything you need in order to do that if you don't already have that set up. If it really worries you, then you could go to your Start icon, go to CodeBlocks, uninstall it, and then just reinstall it and choose full, all plugins, all tools, everything. But you really don't have to do it. It's fine with the default settings. So then we click Next, and we click Install. And it asks if we want to run it. Let's go ahead and say yes. And here we are. So now it may come up with a small dialog asking you which compiler you want to use. If it does, the top compiler should be selected and it should be called GCC. Just go ahead and leave that alone. That's the one you want. And then you should get to a screen that looks like this. So now we create a new project. We click on Console Application, we click Go, and it'll ask us if we want C or C++. Just go ahead and choose C. And now we're going to give it a title. We'll call it First Program. It will ask for a folder to create the project in. I recommend you create a folder for all of your programming projects, and you'll just choose that folder. You can either type in the folder name or you can click this button to choose the folder. And then these bottom two fields should be created automatically for you. You don't even have to worry about that. After that, click Next. And if this asks you to overwrite, that's fine. Just click Yes. Notice where it says compiler, it'll say GNU GCC compiler. That's fine. And then click Finish. Again, if it asks you if you want to overwrite anything, click Yes. If it asks you if you want to overwrite anything, click Yes. And there you go. So now you are in your first project. So over here on the left you have Workspace, First Program, Sources. Push the plus next to Sources, and now you have your main C file. Now you'll notice it already has a program filled in for you. This is just so you can see that CodeBlocks works correctly. So go over here to this button, which is the Build and Run button. Click it, and one of two things is going to happen. Either your program is going to run correctly, or you may get this message which says uses an invalid compiler. If you get this message, what you do is you go to Settings, you go to Compiler and Debugger, and you click on Reset Defaults. It will ask you if you want to do that, click OK. It'll ask you if you're really sure, click OK. And now it should auto-detect the correct installation path, and then click OK, and you should be all set. Then at that point, click OK at the bottom of that dialog, and then try again. Push the build and run button again. And there you go. So what you see here is that the program worked correctly. We see our output, hello world, and we see that everything worked. Okay, so now that we know that CodeBlocks works correctly, let's write our own program and try that out. Don't worry about anything that's written here right now. We'll go over that later. So we're going to write our first program just the way I showed you. So we're going to write include stdio.h int main void, and we're going to put printf hello. Now you'll see that this does a lot of neat things for us. It automatically puts parentheses, it automatically puts quotes, and that kind of speeds up the process